Cortez Masto.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary, thank you so much for always being so candid and presenting today before the committee. Let me start with affordable housing, because we are lacking affordable housing in the state of Nevada and quite honestly across the country. I do know that the state and local fiscal relief funds that were provided in the American Rescue Plan provided states with the ability to make a historic investment in desperately needed affordable housing in communities across our country. In Nevada, we expect to build or preserve at least 3,000 new affordable homes with these funds. It's very important that the American Rescue Plan funds leverage the nation's most reliable and impactful affordable housing production investment, which is the low-income housing tax credit. Here's my concern. I am concerned that in my state and some of the states across the country, they're not able to use the funds that they were received through the state and local fiscal relief funds to leverage those against the low-income tax housing credit. So my hope is that the administration, and particularly Treasury Department, will help us clarify to those states that how those funds can be used for that leverage. And I'm curious your thoughts on that process.
Well, we are absolutely encouraging the state and local relief funds to be used for affordable housing. And actually, recently we published a fact sheet that explains practices that we have found promising and highlighting some of the ways in which these funds are being used for this purpose. But certainly we are strongly encouraging that these funds be used to boost the affordable housing. I mean, on the low-income housing tax credit, I know there's been an issue around average income regulations, and that was something that Congress intended to provide flexibility to entities that use that credit. And it is our highest priority for our tax team to make sure that those regulations capture that flexibility.
Thank you. I am hearing just in my state that by aligning the low-income housing tax credit with state and local fiscal relief funds, that's the difference between building 3,000 units and 8,000 units in my state. So I have introduced the Lifeline Act, and what this bill really does, it allows state and localities to loan the state and local fiscal relief funds to the low-income housing tax credit projects. The loan authority is necessary because of the obligation to spend all of the state and local fiscal relief funds by 2026. That's my first priority, to pass that. As you can see, there is a challenge in getting both sides, Republicans, Democrats, on board essential legislation to lower costs for families, unfortunately. So my next ask is that I am hopeful that the Treasury Department clarifies in its final rule and it allows those types of loans, whether they're blended loans or grants to nonprofits that provide loans, just clarifying through your rules that those funds can be used in that way. That will help us build these more affordable homes in my state and across the country.
I'd be happy to work with you on that, and I'll make sure that my staff is in touch with yours to make sure that we're addressing that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Let me jump to Social Security Administration. I appreciated the recognition in the budget of the challenges faced by many individuals in accessing Social Security Administration services. Communities are still reeling from the public health and the economic impacts of the pandemic, and in many cases, the services and supports that the Social Security Administration provides are key to helping individuals recover. Can you talk through the investment in the Social Security Administration that you've proposed in the budget, and how will they help folks access their earned benefits when they need them?
So I know that that's the purpose of those investments. I'll need to get back to you on details.
Please do. I was just in my home state, and we are talking about the high costs that we are seeing at so many levels. And to the extent that we can work together to lower costs at all levels for families, including those that are relying on Social Security, will be beneficial, not just in Nevada, but across the country. Secretary, thank you again for being here.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank my colleague. I'm very interested in working with her on these housing issues. That is so crucial. Senator Toomey's next.